Hey guys, Jeff here, Dice Setters. I was in Vegas this past weekend and I met up with one of my subscribers, Harley Moto. And in Ellis Island, there's three tables. There's the trampoline table, there is the regular $5 table right next to the bar. Both of those were full, and he said that he was at one of those tables and there was no room. So I went to the $10 table. I texted him, hey, why don't you come over to the $10 table? I was standing on R1. And at the time, when I got to the table, they were rolling on R2. So it would have been my turn to roll. And as soon as that guy sevened out, I sat there and said, nope, I'm not going to. I'm going to wait for my friend to come and we'll go around the table one more time. And I did something that I didn't even know if it would work or not. I've done a video on it. And I want to show you what I did. I sat there and I was only playing with two of these, just two. And I ended up getting 8 more of these. And it just took enough time to go around the table and to me, and then I sat there and said, that's it. I listened to many people that speak about craps, and one was Bone Thrower. Bone Thrower would always say, at the most, he'd only do 3 sessions. And I could stand doing craps for hours. It was then I understood, if you're going to do it right, you got to leave on a high note. There is a song about the gambler. Got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Biggest thing is you got to know when to walk away. Walk away when you are winning. I could have stayed for one more round. I could have done something that we do like for slots. Like I'm up 800, so I'll leave if I go up to 900 or if I go down to 700. But I thought, you know what? I took 200, I made it 1,000. Why not leave right now? And that's what I did. So I did the same bet for every single player, no matter what the outcome was. I did exactly the same bet. And the thing that got me was there was two people that could not sit there and hit the point. Not the point that they made, but sit there and hit a point. They tried sometimes up to 7 or 8 times to hit something, but they would roll a 7, a 2, a 3, a midnight, a yo, and they would just keep on going on and on and on. And that's where I made the most of my money. If you can find players like that, and who knows when that's going to happen. But if you use the system that I use, that's when you're going to really get ahead. And on my turn, I tried my hardest to hit the tall. I did hit the small, but I sat there and got my point. So the puck was off. I rolled a 7. No big deal. We reset it back up, and I just couldn't hit it one more time. But from going around the table one complete time and then throwing and then ending it, I was up $1,000. I want to show you how to do this. It's not magic. It doesn't happen all the time. But if you can have a good throw, and if your landing zone is where it needs to be at, and you'll know whether or not you're there or not. Simple, easy. And then I would recommend, once you do that, to walk away. Sit there, go to the pool, go to the mall, watch a movie, wait 4, 6, 8 hours, and then you can do it again. But if I were to stay there at the table, I pretty much think I would have sat there and made less. Because it was at that moment, I was sharp, I knew what I was doing, and I didn't change my bet whatsoever. And when I was rolling, I was not aggressively doing it. I think if I went around the table one more time, I would have been a little more aggressive. Hey, look at me, look what I can do. But I was not aggressive at all. In fact, I was doing, the lowest I could do, iron cross. And I built it up, built it up, built it up, and I had a monster roll. It was just that was what was the key to making all that happen. So I want to show you what I did, and maybe this might work for you. And again, I only started with $200, so it's not like, oh, I can't afford that. It was just 200. I think, if you want to downsize, I think you'd been fine with just 100. But it was just the same bet, no matter what the outcome was, and waiting for your turn. So without further ado, I want to show you what it was and the steps I took to sit there and make 200 into 1,000. All right, guys. So what I did, bucks off. It's a $10 table. This will work for $10, $20, $50. You just have to change the increments. So $10 on the don't. I'd always put $1 for the dealers. and then I would hand them $5. They would hop Big Red for 3, and then they'd put $1 on Midnight and Yo. You can sit there and change this just a hair. In fact, maybe next time I would have done this, I would have handed them $7 instead of 5, and I would put money on the. That's wrong. It should be. Yeah, I don't know. Put money on the 3 and the 2. So no matter what the outcome is, I would sit there and I would make money. So say that the outcome was a 7. I'd just make it so that this is not here. The outcome was a 7. After they reset everything up and they take down this, they're going to sit there and give you $11. So with that $11, you sit there and put that guy back up, put the dealers back up, and then out of your own pocket, you would throw them $5, and that would put pressure on the 7. So now you have $6 on hopping the 7s, and then you'd have $2 more on the 11 and 12. And say they rolled a midnight. You'd do the same thing over and over again. They would sit there and pay you. You'd give them $5 more, put pressure on the Yo and the midnight, and put pressure on the 7. It got to be that sometimes I would have $5 for the Yo and for the midnight, and the midnight would sit there and hit. So that's 5 times 30. That was fantastic, and we're still haven't got the point yet. The point was not even established. This happened for 2 players, and it happened multiple times on these 2 players. That's how I sat there and played. It was easy. It was simple. Sometimes you'd lose, sometimes you'd win. But it was not a time that I sat there and said, wow, I need to change something because I'm losing. Even when they sat there and got the point and hit the point again, it still wasn't bad because I was only losing $11 plus the 5 I had here. Another thing is if the point was a 4, a 6, an 8, or a 10, I would sit there and do $2 for a hard whatever. So a hard 4, hard 10, hard 6, hard 8. And that would kind of cover my bet that was here. Just in case if they sat there and hit their point, if it was hard, I would at least get my money back from here, and it wasn't so bad. But most of the time, people are going to 7 out. 9 times out of 10, people are going to 7 out. That's all there is to it. You do the math, you look at the statistics, people are going to sit there and 7 out. Yes, there's times that the table seems hotter, even though truly it's not. It stays the same. It's just like a slot machine. People say, oh, that slot machine is hot or that slot machine is cold. It's a slot machine. It doesn't know temperature at all. And then when it became my turn, what I did was $10 on the pass line. I gave the dealers $5 each for the tall, small. I gave them the same thing. Dealers, small, tall. I'd also hop the Big Red just in case if I 7'd out on my come out roll that I wouldn't be out that money. And then it was a $3 crap check. Once the point was established, I would sit there and double for odds back here. I think you can see it, yep. I'd double my odds back here. Say it was a 6. I would have $10 table. I'd have 2, 2. If it was that way around, I'd have it the same way. If it was this way around, it was like that. And then $10 in the field. It's the iron cross. And if you were to hit the 6, you would lose this. And then I would tell them to boost it up by one increment. And if it hit the 8, boost it up by 1 increment. Until I had like $30 on 6 and 8. That's how I sat there and took 200 and made it 1,000. Simple, it's easy. You don't have to be that good of a shooter. You just have to be disciplined. And you might be down just the smallest hair, depending on what kind of players you have, but I guarantee you that when it became your turn, you're going to sit there and knock it out of the park. The biggest thing I did when it was my turn to roll, I already know what set I'm using. Without a doubt, I know what set I'm using. I know where I'm standing. I'm using this set here with the pulled back one time, cross sixes. I know exactly how I'm holding it. And I would sit there and literally look at my landing zone. I'd breathe in 3 or 4 times, hold my breath, and throw it. Because I wanted all my concentration on the landing zone. Because I think the biggest thing that my fault is the landing zone. I know how to throw it. I can throw it in my sleep. But hitting the landing zone in my sleep, almost impossible. I have to really look at the landing zone. There were some bombs. I tell you, some people had their odds back there. I had to sit there and avoid those. So it was a struggle to make sure that the dice did not kiss, that the dice did not sit there and boomerang to the left and to the right, because I know that's going to be a 7. And it was just full concentration during that one time. And I sat there and had, I made the small, and then I was like one away from the small and the tall when I finally 7'd out. I had people cheering. It was one of those times that if you didn't make money on that table, there was something wrong with the way that you were betting. But yeah, it was pretty cool. But then again, I sat there and betted for everyone around the table, and I showed you how I betted on the don't with the dealer. The dealers are going to sit there and like that because you're helping them. The dealers are going to sit there and like that because you're helping them. And when you do make a mistake of, hey, don't you want odds back here? Or don't you want it a certain way? They remember things like that because they are also getting a portion of that money that you're making. So get the dealers for sure on your side. And that was kind of like my highlight of the weekend. It was, I always fear when people want to sit there and roll with me. I always fear that, I'll 7 out after the first or second throw. So it's always, I don't know, to me it's always a big fear because of what I do and what I say, and I want it to be factual. I want to sit there and I want people to say, hey, that guy doesn't know what he's doing when he's really rolling at the casino. So it really made my day that I blew it out of the park. And I want you guys to do the same thing. So tell me if you like the strategy. Tell me if you've tried the strategy, and if you have, let me know. And let me know if you made good or made bad. At the table that we were at, I would have to say there was probably 7 people on the left side and probably 6 people on the right side. So you're not going to win every single session, but you have potential to win because you're leaning toward the house edge. So I'm not going to say you're going to win every single time, but you're going to win more times than you should because you are betting with the house. And the only thing that's going to get you on here is a 7 or a yo. So you're putting in place everything you can, insurance money and stuff like that. And it's not much, it's $5. And hopes that you can keep on riding that wave of them not hitting a point. And like I said, at one time there was 5 throws before they actually made the point. And 5 times 12, you can imagine what kind of money that was. Imagine if they hit that 3 or 4 times, especially because the yo and the midnight are exactly identical as far as the money going down. That one does pay 15 to 1, and that one pays 30 to 1, but still at that, you got $5 on yo and you were to hit a yo, I wouldn't gripe about the money that you're going to get back in return. Plus it resets everything back up, and then you put $5 pressure to build that wave that you're trying to make before the point is established. Tell me what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe. And if you ever want to sit there and meet me in Vegas, I'm all up for it. I will be in Vegas for Halloween. I guess the weekend before Halloween. But if you want to sit there and roll with me, just sit there and let me know. Email dicesetters@gmail.com. If you have questions, leave it in the comments, or if you want to have a private question, you can sit there and email me. Thanks for watching, guys, and hope to see you at the tables.